It's Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017. I'm your host, Sarah Beal. Thank you for joining us. We have a great show in store for you today. On today's show, we will learn about the newly updated Business Barnstable website with Economic Development Specialist Mike Travato. Then we will get an update on what's going on at the Senior Center with Director of Senior Services, Madeline Noonan. Finally, we will hear from DPW Director Dan Santos. But first, let's get a look at today's top headlines. The last day to register to vote for the October 24th Cape Cod Regional Technical High School vote is this Wednesday, October 4th. Polls will open on the 24th at noon and close at 8 p.m. The last day to register to vote for the November 7th town election will be October 18th. On November 7th, polls will be open their usual 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. All even-numbered town council seats will be up, as well as elections for school committee, housing authority, and town clerk. For more information on elections, please visit www.townofbarnstable.us. The Land Acquisition and Preservation Committee is hosting Fall Walking Weekend this weekend, October 6th through the 9th. There will be 2 walks hosted every day, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Each walk will be led by members of the Land Acquisition and Preservation Committee or an able representative of that area. For more information on the Fall Walking Weekend, please go to the town website and click through to the Land Acquisition and Preservation Committee page. Maintenance work will be performed on the Sagamore Bridge from 8 p.m. on Tuesday, October 3rd to 5 a.m. on Wednesday, October 4th. During this time, the travel lanes on the Sagamore Bridge will be reduced to 1 lane of traffic in each direction. No wide loads will be permitted to cross the bridge when lane restrictions are in place. Flu season is upon us, and the Town of Barnstable's Health Division will hold 2 flu clinics. The first will be held Wednesday, October 11th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., and the second will be held November 8th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Both will be held at the St. George Greek Orthodox Church in Centerville. These clinics are open to Town of Barnstable residents only, and the fee is $3. Now let's learn about the new Business Barnstable website with Economic Development Specialist Mike Travato. Thank you, Mike, so much for joining us today. We're going to talk about the new Business Barnstable segment. But first, before we get to that, I want people to kind of understand what it is exactly you do. You're the Economic Development Specialist in the Planning and Development Department. So you can kind of explain what that is.
Sure. Yeah, I'm the staff person within the Planning and Development Department that works on the town's economic development plan. So I am that point person out there in the business community, both for existing businesses and also for prospective businesses looking to come to town.
Right, so you're kind of like the town, person that, oh, I'm going to start a business in the town of Barnstable. Let me call Mike. He's going to help me, kind of maneuver my way through maybe permitting and what you need to do.
Exactly. Yeah, I help navigate them through permitting, licensing, zoning issues in terms of directing them to the resources of who to talk to in those areas.
Great. So last week at Town Council, you premiered the new Business Barnstable website. Let's talk a little bit about the new website and what some of the features of it that people might use.
Sure. The Business Barnstable website is an economic development tool. It's a resource, online resource guide designed to help new businesses looking to locate in town. It's sort of a one-stop online resource to help them get information, everything from why to come to Barnstable all the way down to how to get through that process we just referred to, the permitting, licensing, zoning, information about what developments are happening in town now, and also there's a new feature that's going to be a commercial site finder to help people locate here in town. Yeah,
when you gave the presentation last week at Town Council, I thought that was really cool to have I want to make a business in Barnstable, what's available, so to be able to go onto that site and see places that might be available for someone to bring their business in. I think that's a great tool.
Sure, and that's under development. We're going to be working closely with the commercial brokers in the area. That tool will give them the opportunity to upload what they have on their listings for available sites for lease and for purchase, as well as commercial property owners that may want to list their sites for lease as well, especially downtown businesses, small mom and pop type property owners that may have a 1,000 square foot space available for a retail business, for instance.
Right. So really, this Business Barnstable website is going to be, it's like you said, it's going to be the one-stop shop. You can do, and we talked about how the permitting process. You have a permitting permitting guide.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, that's another new tool that we've just rolled out and introduced it in front of the council the other night. That's more of a hard copy, user-friendly, small guide, more designed for the mom and pops, the ones that typically would walk into our offices at Town Hall or at 200 Main Street that are looking for information about permitting or licensing or zoning. And this is a simply laid out FAQ type thing, frequently asked questions, so kind of giving them those answers up front so that they kind of can get some of those answers before they walk the counter or get too far into the process, so they know who to talk to and can be guided in that direction.
Yeah, I have to think that the permitting process for a new business, it would be really kind of daunting to take on. So I think that's great that you're, giving people kind of a trail to kind of figure out what exactly they need to do.
Right, it varies. If someone's looking to just locate in an office, it's a fairly simple process. Someone that's looking to do retail location may have a little more complexity to that process. And then if you get into someone that's looking to open a food service establishment, it gets much more detailed, especially if they're looking to also acquire a liquor license.
Right. So have you been working with the Consumer Affairs Division on
yes,
this a little bit?
This guide and the website as well are collaborative efforts between our department and all the regulatory services divisions, as well as the building department. We've got health, licensing, and conservation have all weighed in on this and helped give us guidance on this in addition to the planning department, and as well as the clerk's office, because the town clerk is involved as well from the standpoint of business certificates. Yeah,
it's a big process, and there's many departments involved, so I think that's great that it was a collaborative effort to bring this together. So businessbarnstable.com is the website.
It's actually just Business Barnstable. Oh, it's businessbarnstable.com. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm right. You are right. I'm sorry.
And I know the town has taken kind of not a turn, but they're trying to be more business friendly. Is that the main goal with this whole businessbarnstable.com website, and trying to streamline things for people?
Yes. It's to make things easier for people, but at the same time, really put the word out there that Barnstable is open for business.
Yes.
So both these guides certainly speak that in volumes.
Great. Well, thank you, Mike, so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Right.
Mike Travato is the Economic Development Specialist in the Planning and Development Department. You can find out more information by visiting www.businessbarnstable.com. Coming up, we'll hear from DPW Director Dan Santos, but first we get an update from Director of Senior Services, Madeline Noonan. Thank you, Maddie, so much for joining us today. We have so much to talk about.
Yep.
Fall at the Senior Center, and you guys have some new software you guys had just started using this week.
Yeah, we're very excited. We've been talking about this for some time, and now the time is here where we're rolling this out to the public. So for the last couple of months, the staff and I have been working behind the scenes to implement a program called My Senior Center. We're very excited about this program because it was actually designed for the senior center environment, which is a very unique, typically in municipal government, senior centers are a little different than a lot of town departments. And so with all of the various programs that we offer here, including our transportation, our supportive day program, our outreach counselors, and also all of the various classes and activities that we offer here. Traditionally, we have done everything in a very fragmented way. We've had different software programs for every one of our different program areas, and so we felt it was really important for us to move to a system that covered everything under one umbrella, and that's what My Senior Center is designed to do. So it's been really exciting. Back in the spring, we had the representatives from the company come and do a tutorial here on site so that all of the staff could see how really this would benefit our overall operation here. And I have to say the staff were very excited and energized about this because it really did offer a lot of improvements and enhancements to the way that they that we had been doing our day-to-day business here. And also the really fun part for the seniors on their end when they check in. Typically what had happened was that a senior would come into the building to participate in an activity, and we would check them in. One of our volunteers at the front desk would ask them, what they were here for. Now with this new system, they get to tell us why they're here. So we have a new touchscreen monitor right when people come in the door at the front desk, and they get to check themselves in. So I think that's kind of like a fun feature. I know when I go visit different senior centers, I've seen senior centers that have been using this program, and the seniors really do seem to enjoy the fact that they get to, check themselves in and touch the screen for whatever visit purpose or multiple purposes that they come in for on any day. And one of the other really important benefits of this is in terms of tracking our usage at the senior centre, all of the statistical data that we get, it's going to be much more of a smooth process for us to get all that information, which really better serves us as we move forward to ensure that we're looking at and tracking, all of our metrics appropriately.
That's so wonderful. You can keep track of, what people are participating in, and the more popular events and programs that you're offering. I mean, what a great idea! It sounds like a really great streamlined process.
Yeah, and I mean, we were using a program for registration that did. I mean, even though it wasn't customized for senior centres, we were able to get a lot of that information. It just wasn't as easy to get, and so this system has an ease of use and a lot of really cool functions for us. Like if we need to, as happens, activities get cancelled. We have weather issues. If there's an event that we want the community to know about, there's a voice feature on this program that allows us to make as little as few calls to as many as calling our entire database, which we have almost 10,000 records on our system. So that's a great way for us to connect with the community in a very speedy fashion, because we can literally make, record one message and send that message out to as few or as many people as we want to. Whereas before, we've had to make individual calls, which can be quite burdensome. So it's going to save us a lot of time and energy. And again, it's new, so we're asking that, the public bear with us. Obviously, one part of this with changing over is that we're required now to give all of our users a new key card, a key tag, so that they can check themselves in. So it's going to be a little bit of a transition, but the staff are ready to train people, and we think it's going to, be pretty intuitive for most folks. We're also very excited that there's an online registration piece of this. If anyone goes on to myactivecentre.com and types in Barnstable, it will bring up all of the different activities that are happening at our senior centre that people can register for online. So we're pretty excited about this.
That's amazing. Speaking of, signing up for things, you have a lot of different activities and events coming up in October. I know that you have a car show coming up on October 11th.
Yeah, fall is really a fun season. There's a lot of activity at the senior centre, typically between now and the holidays. You know how it goes. It's just here before we know it. So we're trying to keep up with the pace of things. But we're excited. On October 11th, weather permitting, we'll have a nice day. We're very excited to have the Model A Ford Club of Cape Cod are going to come. They came last year for the first year and did a car show displaying all of their beautiful Model A Fords. And we had a great turnout. A lot of guys, a lot of couples came. It's a lovely way to do something in the fall when the weather's so pleasant. It's on Wednesday, October 11th from 10 to 2, and we have all of these, car aficionados coming with their beautiful vehicles and to talk about them and show them off. We're also going to have a food truck here. The local Scoop is going to be here. They do ice cream and smoothies. So we're looking forward to do something, outdoorsy. And if the weather doesn't cooperate, we'll be scheduling a rain date for October 13th, which is Friday.
That sounds like so much fun.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. And one of the other big events that we have coming up, our friends of the Barnstable Council on Aging are hosting their annual fall fundraiser, which they call their Masquerade Dance, on Saturday, October 21st, over at the Hyannis Golf Course. It's a great venue to host an event like this. The event is a silent auction. They're also doing, the Friends are doing a raffle. All of the funds raised from this event actually come back to support the senior centre through our various programs. The Friends have been very supportive of our programs over the years, and they continue to really advocate for funding for us. And so every dollar helps, so it's a $25 ticket, which gets you into the event. It's going to be a fun party. There's a DJ with great music, lots of heavy hors d'oeuvres and desserts, and it will be a night of a lot of great fun. And costumes are optional. We know that some people love to dress up and others not so much, but everyone's welcome. And tickets can be purchased at the senior centre ahead of time or on the door at the golf course on the evening of October 21st.
That's wonderful. Now, Maddie, we only have a little bit of time left. I know you want to talk about some health talks you have coming up and a cybersecurity talk?
Really quick, just because there's some really important topics that we're going to be coming up over the next couple of weeks. On October 11th at 1:30, Cape Cod 5 are going to be here with staff from their risk management and security team who are really experts in looking at cybersecurity and fraud prevention. It's really important that we keep the public aware of how to protect themselves in the world that we live in now. With you read about so many scams, it's hard to keep up, quite honestly, with the different scams that are out there. So this is really a great way to find out, how best to protect yourself and your financial information. It's a free event. There's going to be refreshments served at that. We also have a couple of health topics, just really quickly, including hearing loss, dental care, staying healthy through the seasons, and integrative therapies for recovery, which is a talk that Spalding Rehab is coming in to do, talking about different kind of therapies, including meditation, Tai Chi, and yoga that can help, mitigate a lot of very painful conditions. And so all of the information that we talked about, including the details on these talks, you can find it on our website, which is www.town.barnstable.us/senior services. You can access our Compass newsletter on there. All of these activities are in our November issue, which just got mailed out a couple of weeks ago, along with all our other classes, our exercise programs, and everything else that we do here. It's hard to fit it all in, Sarah, into 15 minutes, right?
So much.
But there's always so much going on, and everything is in our newsletter. And you can stop in at the Senior Center and pick up a copy, and we'll be happy to show people around and talk to them about all of our programs.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Maddie, for joining us today.
Happy fall.
Happy fall. Thank you
care,
so much.
Sarah.
I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
My guest today is Madeline Noonan. She's the Director of Senior Services. Dan, thank you so much for joining us today. You have a lot of construction projects going on this fall. So let's talk about a couple of them. At Lombard Field, can you tell me about what's going on down there?
Sure, Lombard Field in West Barnstable. This is behind the West Barnstable Community Building. We're doing a major reconstruction of the ball field there, and that'll include the field itself, new lighting, fencing, new bleachers, and new press box. We're also going to be installing new parking areas, which will serve both, all three of the facilities there, they being Lombard Field, the Community Building, and the old Selectmen's Building, and there'll be a meandering path from one to the other. And also the Luke's Love Playground, which is located there next to the ball field, is being relocated more away from the ball field to not be in the area of foul balls and things like that.
Yeah.
A little more private, kind of to the west and between where it currently is and the old Selectmen's Building. So it's a big project. The West Barnstable folks have been waiting for this for a long time, and it's underway, and hopefully we'll be finished next spring, and depends on how good the weather is and grass growing conditions as to whether the field will be all ready to play on. But we'll play that by ear. But all the other work will be done.
Wow, that's really exciting. I know that's a very heavily used area. And as far as the parking lot goes, what's the plan for the parking lot? Is it going to be paved? Because I know right
it will
now
be
it gets
paved.
a little, it gets a little muddy.
For a couple of reasons. Particularly on public buildings, you really need to have surfaces that are handicapped accessible, and so that's why we do a paved surface there. Plus, for snow removal, we can provide a much safer parking lot because we can remove the snow from a paved surface much better than we could from a stone or dirt parking lot.
That's wonderful. And this is the Lombard Field. Do you guys kind of turning it so it's not facing the same way, right? The ball field itself is being. Or do I have that wrong? I might have that wrong.
No,
sorry.
It's pretty much going to be where it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So also that's been started, I know a lot of people have noticed, is that work has been started on the dog park over at Hathaway's Pond. What can you tell me about what's going on over there?
Yes, on Finney's Lane, the Friends of the Barnstable Dog Park they've been in existence for a number of years, raising money to help with a dog park, and they work with us in securing a grant from the Stanton Foundation up in Cambridge to provide $250,000 to construct a dog park, and that's underway and should be finished later this fall. And there'll be 3 different areas for different sized dogs and a walking path around it. But it's a number of communities have installed these, Yarmouth and Mashpee, I think Falmouth too, and they're very popular with dog owners. And so we're going to get that finished and have parking there, and people can bring their dogs for exercise and recreation. And we look forward to getting that finished as well.
Yeah, that'll be great. And just like with the Lombard Field, fingers crossed, maybe we'll have a mild winter and construction will go smooth and not have any hiccups.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the last project we wanted to talk about is the demo at the Osterville Bay School.
Yes, that is underway, and that's a former school. It hasn't been a school since, I think, 2009. And this is part of redeveloping that whole site into a series of all-purpose fields, recreational fields, tennis courts, ultimately a new community building, bandstand. So it's a very aggressive project to kind of redo that whole area. And the first step is taking down that old school building, and the community took a large part and role in deciding that that was the right thing, that it wasn't really savable, and that it was appropriate to remove it. And there's a lot of hazardous materials in it, which we've been removing for the last couple of months. And in the very near future, in the order of a couple of weeks, we'll start taking down the structure itself, and that'll be hauled off, and then we'll regrade the site, and in the spring put the tennis courts there.
Oh, great. So that's going to be where the tennis courts go in.
Yes.
Great. I was going to ask you about the removal because I know it had hazardous materials in it. So that's been ongoing, but what's going to be coming up is going to be the actual demolition of the building.
Correct.
Okay. Should people be aware of any road closures in that area? Because I know that...
No road closures. We
Okay.
have a route for the material for how it's going to get off Cape, but it's not going to be that much, not frequent. I mean, there'll be trucks, but not every minute or anything like
Right.
that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Is there anything else you'd like to let our viewers know about at this time?
I think that's it for the moment.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Dan, for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'll talk to you
Take
soon.
care. Bye.
Bye. My guest today is DPW Director Dan Santos. Now let's get a look at this week's community calendar. The Sturgis Library will have toddler time Wednesday mornings from October 4th to the 25th from 11 to 11:30 for children 12 to 30 months old. This free action-packed half hour of fun for little ones will develop early literacy, fine motor skills, gross motor, and social skills. Please register in advance by calling 508-362-6636. The Sturgis Library will also have free healthy snacks available every Wednesday from 3:30 to 5 p.m. Snacks will be different each week and served on a first-come, first-served basis while supplies last. Are you a member of the Barnstable High School class of 1977? If so, your 40th high school reunion is just around the corner. The reunion will take place Saturday, October 21st at the Cape Codder in Hyannis. There will also be a meetup on Friday night, the 20th, as well as a golf outing on Saturday afternoon. For more information or to sign up, go to www.eventbrite.com and search for Barnstable. Now let's take a look at this week's board, committee, and commission schedule. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow with another great show for you. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Beal.